Welcome, folks. Happy New Year. It's the dude in the housecoat. And yes, the last day of 2024. And all I could say is when I look back, I think about Fred and Peanut the squirrel. Fred with the raccoon, Peanut with the squirrel, and they never should have been killed by the New York State. Yes, yes, yes. Anyways, folks, positive vibes out there to all of you. Yes, positive vibes. Let's just keep it up and let's make the new year even better than it was the last few years. I think we've had a few rough years as citizens of this world. And hello, Zuzu. My cat apparently has made an entrance into the studio. Anyways, we will try and ignore him, but he will ask for treats probably. So I will feed him if that is the case. Anyways, today's video, I want to make an announcement. I will hopefully have it on Twitter by tomorrow, the next day. The Housecoat Chat channel will be on X Twitter. I will be starting a channel for that so that I can expand audience and hopefully, you know, gain people's attention, have dialogue, whatever, raise awareness, learn something. Everything that happens in this world is for a reason, and we should embrace it as much as we can and whenever we can. I am open to dialogue. I am open to accepting new ideas. I am hopefully willing to change the minds, and people maybe change my mind. But mostly, I would like to remind people that it is you that needs to do something. Self rescue is our only option left in this world. If you were to look at the government and what it is doing, if you are a Canadian citizen at this moment as a taxpayer and you are looking for help from your government, you are going to be waiting a very long time. But now, if you're not a citizen of this country, apparently we are bending backwards over and over again to accommodate those that are here that should not be here. And we are accepting them with open arms. And it appears like all our governments, from the civic of the lower level, like, your mayor, all the way up to the prime minister's office, every level of government seems to be coordinated in helping these illegal immigrants come here into our country and drain our resources while people die. Just like the fact that a Quebec father was told, folks, told by the Quebec medical people that they are going to disconnect their son's life support within 30 days because they basically said the kid is dead. Now, I want you all to notice, if you haven't noticed it, and if you, I don't have many people watching my show, but there is a scone up there with a small candle in it, and I'm hopefully going to remember to light that scone in or the candle in the little scone that's a Himalayan salt stone thing, and that is to honor all the people that I have follow, on X that have lost a loved one to the jab, or to violence of crime that should not have been really taking place within this great country of Canada because of the policies that our federal government and the judges are doing within, right? I mean, yes, we have huge problems with our jail system, overcrowding, the bail system, the lack of sentencing. Like all our money is not going to where it's really needed, folks. It isn't. If you really think about it, it's just not. All right. If we have senior citizens who live in this country all their lives now living in a tent in Nova Scotia, while somebody from Rhodesia or Nigeria or Laos or India is getting government money hand over fist, plus, a host of other things, and that senior gets what, right? That is backwards, and I think that is what is mostly wrong in our government because NGOs, white ivory tower people, I like to say ivory tower, I don't know why I said white, but ivory tower people are telling our elected politicians, us, the ones that we voted in, what to do with the money that we give them to spend on, right? I mean, just the other day, what is it? Some kind of Lion Energy, I believe it's called, went bankrupt, right? And it's a huge like ownership that has received a lot of government grants and somehow shares were sold months before and now it's collapsed. So it's like, are we going to get our money back from this company? No. There was even a battery plant fire, folks, in Montreal. Did that make the news on any of your mainstream media, folks? A battery production plant in Montreal, basically, up in smoke. They had a fire in the summer in California at a battery plant, similar thing. It took over a week to put the fire out. Right, over a week. And here we are saying that EV batteries are the future. Yeah, I'm drinking a little bit more coffee. But yes, folks, if you remember what I said earlier, I will hopefully have my housecoat channel and I will be doing a lot of housecoat stuff on X through my channel, trying to be a rabble rouser, a little poking of the bear, and trying to get people to interact and hopefully have dialogue, the name calling and all that. Well, whatever, if you can't come back at me with some facts or whatever, then please do so. It's just like today, I had to have a chuckle. People on X complaining that my image that I created with Grok through my descriptions of describing Melanie Jolie drinking $50,000 worth of booze. It made a wonderful picture. My X feed, Justice Truth, you could find it. Other people have stolen it, and somebody's even said to me, and this is the funny, that is misinformation. What is misinformation? That I made a photo of sarcasm and what's the other word? Whatever it is, right? It's sarcasm. I'm a little ticked off that $50,000 a month is being spent on booze by my foreign affairs minister's department. That's a lot of booze, folks. A lot of people are struggling in this country. And remember, not too long ago, and it's going to be close to 20 years now, I think, but $16 orange juice. You remember that scandal, Bevoda? Right. And here we are with the government withholding documents to give to the RCMP that might implement even Justin Trudeau in scandals that involve money that may have not been appropriate or legal, right? And here we are in this stage of the world in a government that is in a state of flux. I mean, right? You got Jagmeet Singh mouthing off whatever he wants to mouth off, and then he huffs that he puffs after Parliament's done and says, I will call a non-confidence vote when we come back. What, to secure your pension there, Jagmeet? You had all this opportunity before. Your dental plan is not doing very well. The $10 daycare program's not doing very well. All these programs that the government insists that we as citizens accept are failing or are substandard. The amount of money that's being wasted is huge. Consulting, you name it, whatever. It is sad, sad, sad. And as a Canadian taxpayer, I am a disgruntled taxpayer. I am not a Pierre Poilievre supporter. I am not a People's Party supporter. I do like Max. I do like Poilievre. But you know what? It's action better than words because after listening to Pierre Poilievre for the last few years, great speaker, great orientator, whatever you want to call it. But I want to see some concrete action that he will do things that will make Canada better. Until then, I will hold my judgment on that man. Yes, hold my judgment. I do hope that things will be better in our next election, which hopefully will be yesterday and not October 2025. Yes, yesterday, folks. We should not be dealing with this. If you were to actually go online, and you can do it this on X, go on Grok and say, how many countries this year are in political upheaval? You're going to be surprised at how many countries are out of gridlock within their own government. And it seems to be a lot of Western countries with similar neoliberal order, indoctrination, WEF stuff, whatever you want to call it, but mostly leaning on the left. And then all of a sudden, the people that are decent, I hate to use the word, have common sense because, the right and Trump are saying common sense, but common sense people, folks. They're starting to say, hey, no, we don't want all this. We don't want all this immigration. We don't want our kids to, do whatever to their bodies, right? We don't want that. And now all of a sudden everybody's being labeled racist and everything else. And you could call me racist all you want, because you know what? It's just a word. And until I actually do some action where I confront a group of people, whether they are even white themselves, folks, whatever cultural thing that they have, whatever skin color they may have, religion, right? If I start denouncing them to their faces and being rude, ignorant, and swearing, and even including death threats and all that, if they tell me to stop and I don't, then I deserve all the punishment in the world. But until then, if you can't actually respond to anything that I have to say, but by immediately going to a phobia, an ism, or an ist, like racist, wokeism, or, whatever that term is, right? Or the phobias of Islamophobia, go suck an egg. Seriously, this is about dialogue. I mean, I love East Indian people. I've worked with lots of people that are from India that are wonderful people, had great conversations, but there's a lot of disturbing things that come out of India, in my mind, right? Like, I'm not going to go all into it, but the good ones are here. But because of the last few years of immigration, the not so good ones are coming. And the women are being bothered. That's right, the women are being bothered, and that bugs me. As a dude in a housecoat, I wish all women will never have to have any kind of unwanted sexual advances or get cornered by a group of men that aren't from our country and who use the excuse of our legal system to get away with their sexual harassment. Yes, folks, they do it. Okay? And that is just sad. If I was the Prime Minister of Canada, and if one person that was a new immigrant that came to my country assaulted a child or a woman or a man, if the gay thing is or whatever, you know what I mean? If you just basically physically assault, it doesn't even have to be sexual assault, but any unwanted attention, you should be gone from the country. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? Just because you move here and I may not like what you're doing in the lineup, you can't call me a racist because I said, hey, buddy, you cut in line. You don't just say racist right away. You know what I mean? Yes, right? That is just a shame. And too many of these new immigrants throw it back in our faces saying it's racist. Well, how about maybe when you get caught, like I saw the other day, an owner of a land in Ontario saw a dude throwing old construction material onto his property. He stopped his brakes and he pulled over and he yelled at the guy, took a picture of the license plate and told him to pick up all his crap. It's not a dumping ground. And he even pointed out that not that far away, there are actual garbage bins that you can use. If you are a new person to this country and you're coming here, and maybe if you're listening to me, please clean up after yourself. Put the garbage where it needs to go. That's why Canada is one of the best countries in the world. It's because we're clean, we're civil, we try and be polite to one another, and we don't try and chase our neighbor's daughter just because she's pretty, right? We have boundaries, we respect our neighbors, and all sorts of things, and we don't shit on the streets. And I don't really want to say that, but yes, we don't shit on the streets. This is Canada. This is not rural India. I watched a thing last night. Over three-quarters of the people in rural India literally shit out in the open. And that's not being racist. That is just a fact. And it's a wild one. I mean, you have to think about all the wonderful things that go on in this world and the tool that we have, which I'm looking at right now is my computer screen, the hard drive, the internet, everything that brings me all the information from around the world so I can absorb and understand something. And for the life of me, I don't understand the poo thing. I understand the cow, it can be a god in India. I don't understand the poo thing or the rat milk thing or whatever else what you want to call about it. I still don't understand why, how in my history, I mean, I'm not Spanish, but the Spanish people used to apparently on the boats brush their teeth and urine. I may not be 100% correct on that, but I've read something about that because the Mayans were like, you got a bath every day. Right? And then we brought all those diseases from over in the like old world into the new world, and well, you know what happened after that. But yes, everything is weird. We all grow up from somewhere. Our histories are not always perfect, but at the end of the day, we are human. And I would like to say that we all should strive to get along. You know, if we can't get along, then let's have good fences so that you can do what you like over there and I can do what I like over here. Right? And now, folks, it's near the end of the show. I just want to say thank you for listening. I want you to remember to hopefully look at Housecoat Chat on X. I will hopefully be making that channel up tomorrow if it all works out all right. And I'll try and make my videos that I'm doing here on YouTube directly to X because X is the new thing, and I'll hopefully, be able to upload those videos onto YouTube or whatever. I'm still learning these things. I'm still a bit lazy. I'm a procrastinator. I'm a dude in a house coat. And yes, folks, positive vibes. And please, New Year, Happy New Year again. Adopt a pet this year if you do not have one. Thank you.